and you will have the recording link as well. So, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. I'm very excited that I have to open with an apology. The teachers from Israel were here actually a couple of hours ago because I made a misunderstanding with the time differences between Albania and Israel. And so I had to talk to them without you guys, and I'm going to talk with you guys without them. But we're going to schedule another meeting with both of you, with all the schools in Israel and Albania, get to meet them. I have to say that I did meet one student from Albania. It was Tia. I don't know which school it was. Tia presented, she introduced herself. She was, I don't know why, but she got the link for our meeting with the teachers in Israel. And so she went in and I asked her who she is and maybe if she can present herself. And she did it very beautifully with perfect English. So we're really happy to hear that. I think I can't remember the name of the school, but that's a very good start to see that they have fluent English and it's working good. So my name is Ram. Nice to meet you. I'm a PhD student in Israel and I work in a company called HiTeach. And let me share the screen for a second, and I will give you a brief overview of what we are going to do. Just a second. Now, before I go to the slideshow and start explaining about the project, about the Hands Across Water project, I would like us to do a short introduction of everybody. So it would be great if you could just say your name and the school you're coming from, maybe a couple of words about the school itself, if you're the first teacher presenting this school. Elizabeth, maybe you can start.
Actually, yeah, I was gonna start with the presentation. I mean, an introduction about Shukal because it's the first time actually for even us to see the
Okay,
teachers.
that's
Ota has
great.
been in contact with them, but just to for
So
everybody
of
to
course,
understand why we are here today and what Shukal's role is. Uh,
of
so,
course.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Elisabetta Polci. I'm the Deputy Executive Director of the Water Supply and Sewerage Association of Albania, and which stands for the acronym is SHUKALB. So you will probably hear us say it often. So SHUKALB is the Water Association of Albania. We are existing for 20 years now. We're an NGO, non-governmental organization, but a professional organization with memberships. Our members are the water utilities all over Albania, so the utilities that provide water supply and sewage services, but also private companies, universities, in this case, specifically the Faculty of Civil Engineering from the Polytechnic University of Tirana is one of our members. And we also have individual members, professional, senior, and young professionals. Um, Among many things that we do, one of our focus areas is to dedicate time and activities to the young generations. We strongly believe that the way to improve the services that we have today, which are not the top services of water supply and sewage and wastewater treatment in Albania, but to improve those, we need to educate young generations. And for that, we have a long-standing relationship with the Ministry of Education and Sports. I'm not sure their name at this moment because it changes, but Ministry of Education for I don't know, since 2005 or six with the first program that we had with them. And we have different programs at different levels of education. I believe with one of the schools, this Ismail Chemali,
Ismail Jamali dhe Jamal Safa.
with both of them, we have had already?
No. This year, in 2030, when we have started with high school program, we have collaborated with Ismail Jamali School.
Okay. So with Ismail Jamali, we already have worked for one of these programs, education programs, the science fair program, which is a very similar program to this one that we're doing now together with the Rotary Club and with our friends from Israel. It's an international program. This is the unique part of this program, and we're very excited. And I'm personally, both me and Olta actually come from a technical background, but English is necessary to advance, as we know, dear teachers, in today's world. And if you don't have good English, you cannot really go that far. So it's not enough to have those technical skills that we want to develop through the program, but this program allows the kids to practice their English and at a level which is, I would say, not the day-to-day English, but it's very specific because we're going to talk science in English. And on the other hand, the program allows kids and you as well as supporters of this program to be exposed to an international audience, to connect with peers, to exchange ideas, and who knows what, maybe some joint activities when we can travel again. But I will let Ram explain all those unique, features of this program. So that's what we want to do. We want to bring this program to Albania. We have this agreement with the ministry. They have picked both schools in this case because it's a pilot. But based on our experience, which I'm sure it will be very good, we want to expand it to include more schools and to give this opportunity to more kids in Albania. So, Olta, if you can go ahead with a brief presentation and then, yes, back to you.
Okay, I'm Olta Ala. I'm program manager of Shukal, and we'll collaborate together for all the projects.
Okay, I'm going to represent myself.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm Ermira Milori. I'm Vice Director of Ismail Jamali. We are very glad to collaborate with this program with you, and we hope to have good jobs and to represent ourselves in the best manner. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Who's next?
So my name is Jerzy Fusha. I'm the English teacher in Ismail Jamali High School. So glad
Nice
to
to meet you. Okay, thank you.
Okay, I'm Valentina Lamai. I'm an English teacher at Mustafa High School, and I teach 11th grade students there. It's a great idea to be part of this program.
Thank you.
I'm Yonida Garfi and teach biology at Ismail Jamali School.
Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Sylvie Grori from Ismail Jamali School, and I'm glad to be part of this program. And I think we'll do the best, including all the students. Thank you.
Thank you.
So it's my turn now.
Yes.
Okay. My name is Donika Turai. I teach English at Mustafa High School. So the project seems really interesting. And I'm really looking forward to working with students, and it will turn into a very interesting experience, I think.
I believe it will. Okay, we have more teachers, right? We're not done. Did everybody present themselves?
Not yet. If you probably can call people, just,
Erion
and Elena, maybe, if you can open your camera. Refide. You're on mute, Erion.
Hi. I'm very sad.
Okay, you lost your voice.
Sorry.
That's okay. Refide?
Maybe they have problems with the mic sometimes.
Maybe.
So I'm not sure. But I see Naida here.
Okay.
Fide is here. Okay.
Maybe she might find it difficult to present in English. She's a biology teacher at Chimaistava High School.
Okay.
Okay, this might be the reason why she...
I would say just a sentence about the thing in English. It is true that the main issue here is to communicate with each other, and we need English for that. On the same sentence, I want to say that that's not the main goal of the project. We're not here to teach you English. We're not here to teach the student English. I mean, it's part of our goals that they improve their English and improve their presentation skills in English. But as for the teachers, if your English is not in a very high level, don't be scared. Don't be stressed about it. We are here to help. We are here to communicate, and you can help each other. If you're professionals on teaching biology or teaching chemistry, then we are going to use your skills to get the students, to get the children engaged in our activity. And the English parts, they will come, and maybe the English teacher will be more involved in these parts. So we're going to work with it. Don't worry too much about it. I know that Elisabetta mentioned that it's something that we need to put an emphasis, and I agree. I completely agree with her. But on the same hand, but don't take it to the extreme. I mean, it's okay. Even if your English is not perfect, your place is here as well with us.
Okay. So because of this, we have even an English teacher in this program to
That's
support.
great. That's great.
So
as you can hear, none of us is as a fluent English speaker. I'm not a native English speaker. I wasn't born in the United States or England. We are all struggling with it, and the more you talk, the more you practice, the more practice makes perfect eventually.
Thank you.
So thank you for the introduction, for presenting yourself and your schools. Briefly about me, my name is Ram Naaman. I'm from Israel. I live in Haifa, which is a city on the shoreline of Israel. And I'm also a student. I'm just finishing my PhD now in the University of Haifa. And I'm also working in high teach. And that's why I'm here, actually. So let me present a short presentation about what we do. It'll give you a short background. And I think, Olta, you did send the materials to them, right? So I'll just go briefly on these things to get to the main goals of why we're here today. Just a second. Do you see my screen now?
Yeah.
Great. Yes. Feel free to stop me if you have any questions. I'm not bothered by that. That's completely fine. Okay. So what we're doing today, as Elisabetta mentioned, we're doing a project in cooperation with RHAW Alb, which is a water utility or a board of that incorporates a lot of water utilities in Albania. The main issue here is water. And the name of the project is Rotary Hands Across Water, both because the Rotary Club is hosting this activity and financing it, most of it, and also because it puts an emphasis on water. This company, HiTeach, that runs this project, was funded by Dr. Amnon Shefi 20 years ago, and he decided he was a general as officer in the Israeli Navy, and when he finished his service, he decided he wants to go to education, and he got a really deep connection with the sea and water, and he decided that he wants to educate kids, similar to what Elisabetta said, similarly, He wants to educate the population with water and with regarding to water. And he said that we have to do it from a young generation and educate the kids. And so he developed a program called Hands Across Water. And that's a program that's its aim is to educate kids on different backgrounds, from different backgrounds and age groups on different water subjects. The twinning project that we're doing today, that we're participating today, is one of the projects that evolved from the Hands Across Water project that was basically developed in Israel and is run across 50 schools in Israel. The twinning program is basically our way to take it to the world and take it to develop it and share it with other schools and other countries, because we see that the water challenges that Israel is facing today and Israel faced in the past, and the solutions that we came up with, they are not only an Israeli problem, and the water crisis around the world and the climate crisis, it's something that we all share. It doesn't have any borders. So if we have a water shortage in Israel, it's probably a problem that a lot of other countries are experiencing. So what we do in this project is we take the kids, we take the students, and we try to teach them with STEAM subjects. That means science, technology, engineering, and arts. We try to educate them across these subjects with the emphasis of water. Based on water sanitations, and we really want to try to connect it to their curricula. It doesn't mean we're not trying to give them an extracurricular materials and teach them just about water as it is, or water consumption or ecology. We want the kids, if they learn, for example, if they learn about physics or learn about biology, we want them to do that in more of an interesting way and experience it through water utilities, through water development, through water solutions. For example, if we learn about membranes in biology, we will take them to a water facility, to a water desalination facility in Israel, and show them the membranes there that they use in order to desalinate seawater. So we want to make these connections between the industry, the academy, and the curricula that is taught already in schools, and not to invent something new. One of the main goals of this project is also doing it in a way of a PBL, of project-based learning. The schools in Israel and the schools abroad that we've been talking to so far and participating in this program are all working around a PBL program. That means that they do some kind of a research project that I will elaborate it a little bit later. A research project, and the learning is done by a project-based learning. That means that it's something that is hands-on, that the students are experiencing something with their hands. They don't just sit in a classroom and listening to the teacher. We want them to actually do something, to work with their brains. So far, in the last 20 years, we've had more than 100 schools, more than 15,000 students in Israel. This is the first year when we open up this program to schools abroad, and we have collaborations with schools from the United States, from Poland, from Kosovo, Romania, Lithuania, etc. So we have a lot of schools this year. It's very exciting for us. It's very demanding, but on the same hand, it's also very, very exciting, because I think it's very interesting to see these diverse communities of people that they all share the same problems and challenges with water. And it's very interesting also for the teachers, at least from what I've been seeing so far in our meetings with other countries. Teachers and students really love to present themselves and talk about the problems that they experience in their country, and really to discover that we are all very similar. We're in a very similar situation in terms of water challenges and water solutions. So just as an example for how does this project look like usually in Israel, for example, we go and instead of teaching physics in school, in the classroom, if we want to teach them about radius and talk about moving energy cycles. So we take them to a water facility, an ancient well. We have a lot of ancient wells in Israel. You know, we have a lot of ancient wells also in other parts in Europe. But so we take them to an ancient well, and we teach them how to calculate the radius of the wheels and how to calculate the movement of energy. And so we really try to use things that we have in the field in order to give them a hands-on experience in a learning experience. This slide is actually, part of it is in Hebrew, but I think you can really understand if you're a science teacher, these letters really does mean something to you, I think. That's something that you should be familiar with. So that's the main issue here, is to get the children to do some kind of a scientific project on something that is related to their curricula anyway, and also related to water. And why our collaboration with RHAW Alb is something that is blessed in our eyes, because this is the perfect way to do this collaboration with Albania. If we have something like RHAW Alb behind us, together with us to give you the full support in terms of water utilities and water professionals that can help you make maybe even if it's a lecture, maybe send someone to school or give you any kind of material or explanation for the classroom. Our final event is usually done in the Technion, which is the technical institute, the high-tech technical institute in the Academy of Israel. This year and last year it was done in Zoom, and this is why it has enabled us also to have schools from Europe and the United States joining in for the final event. What we aim for is that in this graduation event, students present their work, show their presenting skills, in this case in English, and train in how to present their projects in front of live audience, being asked questions and have to reply. And that's something that is a very important skill for anybody, I think, not just for students. So that's something that we really put an emphasis on. And it's not that they go there to this graduation event and present it. We're doing a lot of rehearsals before, and we will meet with the students before, and the students will meet other students from Israel, from their partnering school before, and rehearse a lot about how to present to other students their work, to make it accurate, to make it very precise, coherent, and fluent, even in English. So that's about the project. Do you have any questions so far about the itself?
No.
I know it's very brief, but we don't have a lot of time. Now I would like to share
Ram, if I can add just something very short.
Of course, yes.
Yes. So the project, as Ram explained, is going to be implemented together with RHAW, but it will need also other partners to make it more practical, and hopefully we will be able to enjoy that practical side of the program this year, you know, along with the restrictions we have because of COVID. But we have spoken with the water utility of Tirana, and they are very much happy to support the program in ways that they can. And one way is for them to allow, you know, visits of the students together with the teachers to see some practical aspects of these concepts that the program will explain. So.
Thank you, Elisabetta. So let's talk a little bit further about the project, and with an emphasis on the twinning project itself. You see my screen now?
Yes,
Yeah.
we see it. Mm-hmm.
Yes? Okay, great. Of 2021. What we've been doing so far We've been meeting and doing introductions like this one with a lot of schools from different parts of Europe and the United States, as I said. We've been contacting school from November, actually, and it was a crazy year because of the corona. I'm sure the situation in Albania is similar. Everybody had quite of a hectic year. What we did throughout these few months, the months that we've been meeting with other teachers, and that's what we're going to do here, but very briefly and concisely, is we contacted the school. We've been meeting with the teachers, and we try to start at first some kind of a brainstorming about the projects. Try to get the teachers to think, to come up with the students or without them, as the beginning, as a first step. Think of a project that they think they find interesting, and start researching, actually. Now, in this stage, as Elisabetta said, we also we were trying to get the teachers and schools to try and involve water utilities or academia personnel, faculty from the academia, or governmental institutions, to try and come to the classroom or take the classroom. It depends on the corona situation, of course. Take the classroom to a water utility, to a water factory, a desalination factory, or a water treatment facility. Really depends on what you have there. So I suggest that we try and, after this meeting, try and get these things in mind, bear it in mind, and try to think, who can you turn to? We have Harry Hackman, who is supporting us as well, and he's a water engineer, and he can help us with it as well. He has a lot of connections, and of course, Elisabetta and Shukal are a very good address for these connections. So that's something that we want to do. We want to find a partner, and we want to think, to come up with a project, something that is interesting for us. I'll give you an example for something that has been done lately in Israel. One of our schools contacted the local water utility, and they said, we have a water shortage in Israel. We want to come up with ways to raise awareness just in our class, in our community. It's not something national necessarily. We're working small, at least this year that it's crazy and we don't have a lot of time. So we're working very, concisely. So they came up with different ways to raise awareness among their communities of students and teachers inside the school of how to preserve water, how to consume less and less water. And what they did, and I think that's a beautiful and blessed project, in order to check if their ways of preserving water and raising awareness were successful, what they did is they went to the water meter in each household, and they measured it. They took 3 days. They did an average consumption regular household before raising awareness and doing all kinds of deeds for raising awareness. And they checked what it was. And then they measured it a week after they did a lot of actions for raising the awareness of school, raising the awareness of each household, and taking actions. And what they did is to measure the water meter again, which is a very simple thing to do. Everyone has a water meter. And they took the average, and they took it they put it in an Excel table. So they were able to calculate and analyze this data, even in terms of what are the estimated money saving, because we know how much we pay for water, for each cubic meter of water. So they were able to also calculate how much money we saved. And that's an important aspect of water saving here, because people tend to do things only when it hurts their pockets. So that's something to think of when we do something like that. So that's just one idea. They were contacting the water utility. They gave them a lecture about ways to save water. They took it back home. They taught their parents and friends. They measured the water meters. So it was a really simple project that involves something that they do in school, and that's a beautiful thing to do. I think that's something that they did along this year. So this is what we've been doing with schools. We've been their activity. We supply with a lot of English materials for your use, and I'm going to send you a link to our English contents. I don't know if you got it or not so far. I don't know if I sent it, Olta. Do you have the English materials as well, Olta? Or just this presentation? Okay, I will send it anyway, just in case. A link to a Google Drive folder. We've been during this year, we've been translating most of our learning materials, a lot of them, to English. We don't have anything in other languages so far. But if you take it as a project and try and translate some of the slideshows, that could be great for your students as a practice in English, but also for us, so next year we can use it with the other students. So we do have slideshows in English that teach about the physics of water, about chemistry. We have a lot of short video clips on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel that I will also send you the link after the conversation with with different water experiments. We have different kits of Lego. I think Harry is planning on bringing a Lego kit to Albania, right, Elizabeth? Did he buy it already?
Not yet, but I know that he has done all the research.
Okay, yes, they've been talking a lot about it. Now, it's not just Lego for, I've been playing with Lego when I was young, but this is a whole different story.
Right.
Let me just share a short video so you can see it's a complete lab. It's a laboratory that you can do whatever you want with it. It has small engines and water pumps and pressure meters and everything you want, and you can do a lot of experiments with it. It's quite amazing. I'll share just a quick video clip, and that's something that you can do with your students. Do you see the video?
Yes.
I lost it. Okay, so what they built here is you have an engine and you have a water pump and you have a pressure meter, and you actually learn about all these different parts and do a lot of experiments with it, which is quite amazing and very interesting for the students as well, to build these things and to experiment with it. That's the hands-on experience that we're looking for. That's also a complex thing to do, so you do need a lot of learning to do before you start working with these tools, but it does give you a lot of very good opportunities for learning. Okay, so what we aim for you to do is to start planning a project. We know that we don't have a lot of time. I want to talk about the end game here. We aim for you to participate in our final event. Our final graduation event this year is in less than a month away from us now. It's on the 17th of March. It gives us about 3 weeks to really do something. Now, we know it's very ambitious. We know you don't do a research project, and especially in a Corona year, you don't do a research project in 3 weeks. But we do wish that you cooperate and participate in this event, even if you continue with the project after the graduation event, and you continue with the research after the graduation event and even next year. But because we do want you to participate and so you can see the other schools and other projects and get a sense of what we're doing here. So in this case, we would like you to start and plan something and organize it in a poster or a presentation, even if you don't have the whole idea, or you don't have the data or the analysis that you wanted to do with the project. Even if you just have an idea of something, a sense of something, wrap it up in something that you can present. And we want you to cooperate on top of it with another school in Israel. So I know it's something that is usually we're doing a full project, but this year it's going to be very ambitious. And what we're aiming for is basically something very more simpler, just a work plan, an outline of a project that you can wrap up and summarize in a poster or a slideshow and present it. And later on, after the graduation event, move on, keep on and working on it and finalize it. But by the 17th of March, I think it's impossible to really expect that you start the process with the students and finish it. So our next step in this project, in the twinning project, it will be to get you to meet the teachers from Israel and to schedule a time, and that's going to be in 2 weeks' time, maybe something like that, a time where you meet and exchange products. And by products, I mean the poster or a slideshow or a short video clip of something that you wish to research of your project. The Israeli school will send you their project. You will send your project to the Israeli school, and the cooperation will be based on these projects. And what I mean is that the students will get your projects. They will have to learn, the students in Israel, and vice versa. We'll have to learn about the projects of each country's that each country did. Through these projects, they are going to learn about the challenges and about the water solutions that Albania is facing and that Israel is facing. And our aim is really to get the students discuss. If we manage to do that, that's going to be a lot. That's going to be a big win. We want them to discuss with each other about the problems that they experience, that they know of. It's in Albania. What are the water challenges in Albania today? And what are the solutions that Albania is developing for water challenges? And the students in Israel will learn about it, and they will teach them about their water challenges and solutions as well. And maybe during this discussion, we will also have a sharing of ideas, of solutions that the students in Israel might share, or the students in Albania. Israel in the last 20 years have been developing very high-tech and very developed water facilities, water utilities in general. We've been facing a very severe waters and droughts within the last 5 decades or so. And so it made us, it was a necessity to develop all these facilities. And today we are in a very good shape in terms of water utilities. So that's something that we can really export with the students to other students around the world and teach about desalination of seawater, about water treatment. In Israel, we treat our sewage systems, sewage water and reclaimate water. And water reclamation encompasses 95% of our water. So it's only 5% of our water go to waste. The other 95% of the water in Israel go to the sewage and from there to special facilities that takes them back to agriculture and industrial use. That's an amazing fact. That's the number one in the world. And that's something that we want to share with the world, because if all the world will do the same, the water problems in the world will be diminished. So once we finalize this project, our aim is to exchange, as I said, exchange the products and schedule another meeting, a joint meeting of you and the teachers from Israel and the students. It's going to be by each school separately. I mean, one Albanian school and one Israeli school with the students. And there, the students are going to have the opportunity to present their projects and practice on their presenting skills. And discuss about the challenges and solutions that each side experience. And the final stage is going to be the graduation event, and that's the 17th of March. So about a week before, we aim for you to meet with the other side, with the Israeli side, to practice on the presentation skills and exchange of products. So you will have enough time to prepare your students for presenting something in the graduation event on the 17th of March. It's going to be an event, an international event with schools from around the world and Israel and representatives from the industry and academy. So it's going to be a big event and very impressive one. And I think it's going to be a very interesting experience for the students as well. Even, and I repeat again, even if their project is finalized and they still have a lot of a long way to go until they finalize the project, that's completely fine. And I have to say that there are more schools in the same status anyway. So that's about it in my from my side, at least.
So Ran, I have a couple of questions
Yes.
to help me and probably also the teachers understand better what you said. So, okay, basically the focus of the program at this stage, since we started late due to all the circumstances around us, is just to focus on one project that the students pick together with the teachers, and they work on it. And as you said, even if it's not finalized, it should be in a presentable stage where there is some kind of conclusion, but not final conclusions, probably.
Right.
Right.
So each school should have one project, one or two projects. We aim for, I don't know, we haven't talked about classes and what's the age groups in
that
your.
was my other question. Like, how many projects per school should we have? Because I know that
So
both
because
schools have quite a few classes, but I don't
yes,
think as a pilot we can address all of those. So
right, that's right.
Focus.
That's right. So we have to remember we are talking about a pilot experience here, and we do want to expand it next year. But just as a pilot, I think that one class, one or two classes tops from each school is enough. One project, if you have two classes, then two projects, but not more than that. And I believe that in light of these circumstances, I think one class from each school will be great with one project, and it will enable the teachers to concentrate on one project. It's going to be easier for everybody, I think.
When we talk about one class, because one class has up to 30 students, I don't think 30 students can work in one project. So it's up to the teachers to pick, a manageable number of students and those who are really willing to work on it, but who represent the class in this case. So.
Yes, and I'll say something more. We have to run this project, and a research project has quite a few separate parts. So we can divide at least some of the class into separate groups that each is in charge of something else. For example, if we have students that are fluent in English, they can be the group that in charge of presenting the project. But other students will be more focused on running the analysis of the data or collecting the data. But I do agree that we have to take a manageable amount of students. Usually and naturally, what happens is that it really depends on the interest of the students. And a lot of times what we see in a class that we start with the whole class and we end up with a group of students who are really into it and lead the entire class.
The teacher will choose the better students, I think, a group of students. They have skills in English and also in science. So I think it's our duty to choose this group.
Yes.
Okay, I completely agree.
And one other comment or question. I mean, we will. I'm sure that the students, the physics and science teachers, not students, sorry, already might have some ideas on types of research projects. But of course, we will work with them to pick something that is doable also in this timeline for 3 weeks that we have. But just to know, is there a place where the teachers can see previous projects? Because that sometimes gives you an idea about like, hey, why can't we do something not the same, but something along the same lines, or just to get some inspirational.
That's a good comment. I say first of all, for what you said, because we have 3 weeks, you don't necessarily have to choose something that is very, very simple, because as I said, you can always continue. Even if you start something that is a little bit more complex and needs more time than 3 weeks, you can always present the idea itself and your plans on what you are about to do. What is your plan for the research project? Present it and continue after the graduation event and continue with the project. But I do understand that, not just the graduation event is close by, but also this year is a little bit crazy and hectic. So if you want to choose something that is more simple, that it's completely understandable, and you can always, just get a lecture from a water professional to the class, or take the class somewhere to a visit in a water utility and try to summarize this event in a creative manner. So that could be another project that is relatively simple. It's not even based on research, but just as a beginning of something. So I will send you few examples for something that has been done in the last years from schools that they were doing it in English. We don't have a lot of examples because we just started this year for schools in English and from Europe, but whatever I have, I will send it to you.
Okay.
We have
This
a
will
list
help
also.
us.
Yeah.
What's that?
This will help us send from you some examples from the other schools. Will be a good help for us. I think.
Yes. Yes,
So
but yes, but keep in mind that whatever you do is okay, and whatever you feel like doing, because the main issue is to get you into it. If the teachers are motivated, then the children will be motivated.
I think, Ram, that students have great ideas, and I will go. We are going to pick up from us great ideas. I think.
I'm sure that's always what happens.
They
And
surprise us.
yes,
So
it really depends on the spirit of the teacher. If the teacher is enabling the children to, to get whatever inside their heads outside in a creative manner, then wonderful things happen. Yes, I agree. I agree.
And Ram, one more question, because this is one part of the program, the project work, let's say.
Yes.
But the other one is the teaching, right? The teaching of principles, concepts.
Yes, so I've been giving you, you're talking about concepts of physics and biology and chemistry.
Exactly.
Yes.
So
What's the question?
We will focus on developing the project since the time is very limited, and once we do that, the teachers can focus also on translation of materials together with our help, and then
of course.
The teaching of concepts.
Of course, yes. So as I showed you in the first presentation, just one slide from a slideshow of physics that teaches physics while using an ancient well, or teaching biology using a desalination factory. We were also being able, because it's a Corona year and we can't really visit anywhere. So what we did is we bought a very special 360 camera, and we've been filming 360 videos. And what we did is we've been creating interactive 360 visits in desalination facilities, in different water utilities all around Israel. And so we take the students in Israel and we're going to open it to the world, actually, because it's a video that you can use. And the children can use special goggles or use it on YouTube with their phones, and can actually, while the video is running, they can look around and see the power plants and to see the water utility and the different parts of it and the membranes and everything. And we can really build a whole class around it of how to teach about what's going on in a water utility, in a water desalination factor, which is pretty amazing. So you will have all these things for your use, of course. I will send it on the links later on. But the emphasis now is really to get you in the graduation event in this tight schedule and cooperating with an Israeli school, because you already have two Israeli schools that are really anticipating the cooperation with you. We have a school that's called Oranit, and another school, an Arab school in Sakhnin. So it's very diverse also. It's a Jewish school and an Arab Muslim school, and they are very excited about it. The teachers already prepared presentations of their schools. They did it a couple of hours ago because I messed up with the times, but they were very excited about it. And they are actually doing, the school from Sakhnin, the Arab school, is doing a project actually not about water. They're doing a project about Corona. They were building a model on Excel, a computational model that is trying to predict the spreading of the virus in their community in a given crowding of people. So you see, it's very creative, and you can do a lot. Just open your minds and listen to the students. They are very excited about it, and we really want to schedule. So by the end of this meeting, I also want to schedule another meeting and with the teachers from Israel, because I really want you to meet them, and they really want to meet you.
Okay, thank you.
Do we have any more questions? No?
Not from my side, yeah.
It's a lot to process. I really want to schedule then open the diary and schedule another meeting. This time a meeting, I will make sure that I have the right time, and this time a meeting with the teachers. And hopefully, if it's okay by you, a meeting by the end of next week, around at the end of next week, maybe next Thursday, if it works for you. It could be even the same time.
Okay,
Elisabetta, do you think it could work? Olta, teachers?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I think it will
Okay,
be okay.
So, okay, so I'm going to make sure I have to coordinate it also with the schools in Israel. But what I'm aiming is for another meeting with the teachers next week. It's the date is going to be the 4th of March. It's going to be 3 o'clock your time, 4 o'clock Israel time. This time I'm on it, and I would really love you for the next week. I would really love if you can prepare an idea of a project. We would like to hear about your ideas, your students' ideas for projects that you think you can develop in the next few weeks, and so we can give you some kind of feedback and comments about your ideas and help you develop it next week. And the teachers from your partnering schools will be present as well, and they will present their ideas for projects. So we can also hear about each other's ideas, and that's something that is also very helpful. Okay?
Rem, this will be only with the participation with the teachers?
At this stage, the next meeting, yes. The meeting after, I aim for it to be with the students after we have some kind of a presentation to give, and then the students will be the ones talking.
With the schools separate or both of schools?
I think that we can do it both schools at this point, yes. Next week is going to be both schools, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. I apologize again for the mistake I made, but I'm really happy that we got to meet each other anyway. And it's going to be a very fruitful cooperation, I believe. So thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you, Ram. Thank you.
Thank you, Ram. Faleminderit të gjithëve.
Faleminderit.
Mirupafshim.
Juve, mirupafshim.
Shalom. Goodbye.
Shalom.